everybody, and welcome to Pepto-Bismol. Mm-hmm. This is Hair of the Dogcast, your favorite podcast about video games and beer and news and topics and video games and beers and also seltzers. My name is Brad, and I'm not tired. I'm excited.
My name is Dylan. I'm also not tired, but I'm also known as the amuse-bouche.
That's what they say, which is French for the bouche.
It actually means amused mouth.
Okay.
And I'm Mr. Unamused Mouth, Tyler.
Why?
Just to be opposite of you.
Did you kiss like an old lady who smokes a lot of cigarettes?
How did you know?
Yeah.
Do I still smell of cigarettes?
Yeah,
Do I
I mean,
still
I don't
smell
know.
of Pall Malls?
I'm kind of like I'm the Jasper T. Jowls of this podcast, and
I'm kind of like a Buster Jones of this podcast. I'm a cat about town.
yeah, I love your white spats.
Yeah, and then I also just drink CG garbage water. For those listening in your cars or in the bathtub or...
In the bathtub. I'd like to think about that a lot.
Yeah. Hey, you in that bathtub. We miss you. We love you. This is the last Dogcast being recorded in the studio here at this house. Because I bought a house. My wife and I bought a house, and we're moving next week. And that's why this is a week early, but... you can't see this. You're in a bathtub. We, though, are in a very cool studio that I will miss.
Yeah, it's going to be strange. We started this kind of, well, first of all, in Tom's place.
Oh,
but
the original recording location, Tom's Kitchen.
Tom's Kitchen, which was actually a decent recording area.
We got to look at all of Tom's fucking walls of games.
Yeah, now he keeps it in like a side room. I wonder why.
He's embarrassed.
He is a little.
He always wears sunglasses and sings music all the time now. He's like in an Offspring cover band, and he forgot about podcasting.
What did I say? He's too busy entertaining cougars at the state fair.
Yeah.
Not a bad gig, though.
It's not awful.
Not a bad gig at all.
Tom is kind of a cougar.
He's a little older,
Yeah.
but the ladies that are going after him, they're robbing the cradle for Tom.
What do you call
really?
a male cougar? Is it just silver fox?
A gross person.
Old man.
An old creep.
Yeah, it's not good.
Wait, oh yeah, because the connotation of what a cougar. I'm all caught up now.
They're shitty panthers.
Shitty Panthers.
So something a little different. We're not going to start with a beer today. We're going to start with a Scarlet Letter hard beverage. It's a malt beverage with natural flavors. This was sent to us from Phil from Arkansas. This is their winter release. It is a cranberry, apple, vanilla, ginger, and lemon hard beverage. Low calories, low carbs, and it's a beautiful can. I'm not sure what to expect.
Is it made by like a female-centric company?
That's a good question.
Because the Scarlet Letter is such a strong feminist book.
That classic Emma Stone film. It's made by Scarlet Letter Beverage Company, a product of Core Brewing and Distilling Company in Springdale, Arkansas.
I don't know where the fuck Springdale is. And I was born in Arkansas. I should know these things.
It's
It's probably too cool for you.
This is drinkable.
Nothing in Arkansas is too cool for me.
Whoa.
I was worried that it would be like overpowering flavor. The ginger's subtle. It's actually quite nice.
This is really drinkable.
I would drink this instead of water all day if I could.
Yeah, and then that'd be...
If they made a non-alcoholic version of this, I'd probably sip on it all the time.
If they made an alcoholic version of water, I'd drink that all the time too.
I think you can just mix alcohol. I think alcohol is partially water.
Just vodka rocks.
No, not vodka rocks. No, just vodka. There's water in vodka already.
What?
Yeah.
So I
Most
could have been
alcohol.
drinking that while I'm playing basketball instead of water?
Yeah, it's true.
This is bullshit, dude.
The more you know.
I often think about a buddy of mine who would pick up 3 versus 3 games, and he'd bring a 2-liter of Diet Mountain Dew and just chug it on the sideline.
Oh my God.
Sounds like my mom.
That's a lot of dew to just be tumbling around in your guts.
Brennan, I hope you're doing well.
Honestly, Diet Mountain Dew is very light
Let's
and refreshing.
talk about the news.
Let's do it.
You know, there's news for the first time about a game called Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Oh, I did not hear about this.
There's news.
It's like slight news. It's barely anything. This is what they want to do.
Well-
It's not what they're doing.
Halt, criminal scum. Leaker Ecstasis, I don't know if I'm saying that right, revealed some details for a starving Elder Scrolls community. Rumor has it we will be returning to Hammerfell. This was featured in, maybe Elder Scrolls 2 or one of the spinoffs. A province in the west of Tamriel, southwest of Skyrim, north west of Cyrodiil. And naval battles will be a big part of the game, including shipbuilding.
Okay.
Fine.
I
just
did
hope
that-
the game's good.
I'm sorry, I did that in Starfield and it didn't work out so well. So
Yeah, Bethesda. You got some proving to do.
Yeah, they've swung and missed too many times for me to really be excited about it. And a game that was announced so long ago that we've all been waiting for so long, my expectations could not be lower.
I think this is going to be how video games are from now on. And
I
whether or
hate
not
it.
we like it, it's just what it's going to be. I am neither excited nor am I not just enthused. I'm not going to poo-poo it right now, but based on their previous record, which would be 76 in Starfield, I don't know.
They got a lot of proving to do before I buy this game. If it's a day one Game Pass, yeah.
Oh, yeah, well.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I don't even have to think about that.
That's why I'm playing Avowed right now.
That's why I'm playing a
But Bethesda also
very boring video game. Spoiler.
They also announced recently a silent auction benefiting the Make-A-Wish Foundation that will see the winner designing an NPC for the game. Now, this
A character they'll never see.
Do I have to be in the Make-A-Wish Foundation to get in on this?
I don't think that's how it works. It's you can just pay money and you get to be in there, but the money goes to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Oh, I'm not going to make me.
Oh,
I'm going to make something horrifying and
Right.
then try to get it in the game.
right, Tyler. You don't have to get cancer.
This is my This is my original character, Bustopher Jones.
and he's a cat.
He's like a
He's a
Khajiit.
Khajiit,
He's a
yeah.
Khajiit about town.
And he's fat.
Bustopher has songs if you have coin.
Well, I need, frankly, in this new game, I need more plus size representation because nobody was fat in Skyrim.
And some people sounded alike, and everybody was relatively the same height.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I think in medieval times, not that this is medieval necessarily, but medieval times, I think obesity was much less common because you fucking couldn't get that fat.
It
Well,
was
sure, we would have seen a few of them though. Some people are just fat by nature.
I think what they should do is just have like some of the aristocracy be extra fat in the Elder Scrolls
because
games.
they got money to
Yeah.
eat. That's why gout is the king's disease.
Which is how you used to excuse your gout.
That's how I justify my gout.
It's just my kingly blood.
No, it's just high life. It's high life and red
It's
meat.
High life and red meat.
Some people extrapolate Starfield had this same NPC thing,
Yeah.
and they auctioned it off a year and a half before the game was scheduled to release, and then it was pushed back a year. So people are like, maybe Elder Scrolls 6 is only 2.5 years away.
No.
Keep dreaming.
It's like,
No.
I don't-
It's barely begun post-production.
after Winds of Winter and Hollow Knight Silksong, I've quit caring until things come out.
Yeah.
The Suikoden 1 and 2 remaster comes out in like 10 days from recording.
Oh, shit, really?
Yep. And like, that's cool. I know that's coming. Elden Ring Night Rain, May 30th. I know concrete days. Those are coming. That's nice. Batman, you heard of Batman, guys?
Is that?
The Caped Crusader?
the blind one?
This is a Ben Affleck character that actually got a spin-off comic book series.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
love
the
that.
blind lawyer.
Yep.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah, no, yeah, I remember that.
Now, DC is based after Batman. It's called Detective Comics. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Rumors are spreading that Rocksteady is going to be returning to the world of Batman.
Oh, boy. Oh, we fucked up bad. Here we
Nobody
go.
say live service. Nobody say live service.
Let's do the safest fucking thing we can do. We're going to go back to Batman, but not an Arkhamverse game.
Okay.
What they're doing is supposedly they're doing Batman Beyond.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
That's really dope.
Which I don't know Batman Beyond. I know
I've
it's
seen
set in
every
the
single
future.
episode.
It's a little more edgy, kind of a darker, more mature story. Is that true?
Can you name the main character of Batman Beyond?
Batman.
Boom, that was quick.
Actual name.
The Batman.
Terry McGinnis.
Well, I was going to...
I did not know that.
I didn't know that.
Batman Beyond rules. It's all you need to know. It takes place in the future where Bruce Wayne is very kind of beat down by his lifestyle. He's very lonely. All he's got for companionship is a dog. And one day, Terry McGinnis stumbles upon the Batcave, and Bruce is like, "You figured out how to find this? Okay." And then basically makes him the new
I remember
Batman.
the cartoon.
It's
when I was
Iron
a
Man.
kid.
It's Iron Man, Batman. Think of it that way.
Iron Man, Batman, I can get down with. If they made a Batman Beyond game, I'd be pretty stoked.
As long as, I mean, I love the Arkham games. If it plays not too differently than that, the combat just,
There will be actual flight.
I would
he actually
like.
can fly.
You can fly.
Okay.
I would like honestly a return to form of like Asylum, where it's more of a straight up like detective event, but less open world and more linear focused.
Okay,
I
so
would
this will
enjoy.
be like Cyberpunk, but Batman.
It'll be Cyberpunk Arkham City.
Yeah.
No, Arkham Knight.
Yeah, basically. So you'll actually be solving stuff, but in kind of a more sophisticated way. That's how it works.
I could dig that.
The game is supposedly adapting the narrative, but not the distinctive art style, which I think is okay.
A Bruce Timm art style is hard to produce in video games. So
Yeah. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 is also supposedly getting a remake, remaster, whatever. It's going to be the same game. Pro skateboarder Tyshawn Jones stated in an interview that he's in a Tony Hawk remaster that's about to come out. He inadvertently spoiled that
Nice.
it was coming.
that's fine. I don't see what the point is in hiding that reveal. The first two remasters did really fucking well, by my recollection.
I think well, it's supposed to be getting announced at an Xbox Summer Showcase.
Oh, that's kind of-
You hold off on the reveals, so it's like, and releasing today or like next week, pre-order now.
I think this relates to a larger problem where I'm just not interested in these showcases anymore. I'm not aboard the hype train anymore in my day-to-day life.
Is there any event throughout the year that you do like to tune into? Like the Game Awards, I actually really enjoyed
I kind of
last year.
I only like it when I know something big might be coming. So we're talking about even those shitty Nintendo ones with the voice actors who condescend to me all the time. I will watch those.
Guess who's back? Mario in this new adventure.
Because there is a chance that I will see an actual executive at Nintendo show up and go like, I hope you really appreciate the work we've been doing, and then snaps, and then suddenly it's a huge Mario or Zelda game.
And then
that's
the Metroid-
all I'm in the yeah, exactly.
The Metroid Prime 4 director comes out and commits harakiri in front of everybody.
Oh, Jesus.
I am sorry.
Wow, Zachary, that looked good.
That's a lot of blood.
I love zapping aliens, Jill. That's all that shit is. It's like, ugh. Way to make me hate doing what I like.
Who's ready for more Mario Kart?
Me, certainly. I love it.
I'm over Mario Kart. Okay.
I'm not. It's great.
Yes. Assassin's Creed Shadows is a video game
Yeah, and
that no one I know is excited for.
I don't.
I haven't heard
Tom,
a single person.
I think Tom is the only person I know that's excited for it.
Really? Tom? Our Tom?
He just loves Assassin's Creed games.
He does, but Tom.
But now he's only into Offspring cover bands, I hear. That's all he does.
Yeah.
That are like bands named after like eating utensils.
Yeah.
Doesn't it come out
Large
relatively
ones, yeah.
close to Ghost of Yotai?
No,
Which,
it does not.
Regardless.
Ghost of Yotei isn't out for like another year or two.
But still, it's like no one's asking for an Assassin's Creed game right now.
No.
But weeks away from its release date, Ubisoft is saying that they are confident it will be a hit and that there won't be another last minute delay. The game has been pushed back from November to February of this year, pushed back an extra month after that. The financial standings for Ubisoft are bad.
They need a dub real bad.
They need a big dub.
I've heard some middling things about early play. I hear it's not very good.
I hear at best it's okay.
I hear at best it's okay. And the weirdest thing is doing this game after Ghost of Tsushima, such a long time we've had that game. Ghost of Tsushima is the Assassin's Creed I always wanted, and they already did it.
They already did it.
And it plays better. It's just a better video game in general than any other Assassin's Creed I've ever played, bar none. So why? And
Because Ubisoft is a one-trick pony.
well, clearly they could have done something weird. When they announced the American Revolution for Assassin's Creed 3, I was like, didn't expect that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
And back then, people were like, "Oh, do Japan, do China, do something
I
crazy."
didn't want to see that.
And then
There's so many games like that.
Do a modern Assassin's Creed
Yes.
set in New York City.
Exactly.
no,
That'd be awesome. Are you kidding me?
No, I don't want that. I want history-focused Assassin's
What if
Creed
it was
games
like-
and take all the Abstergo
Hold on,
shit
hold on,
out
hold
of
on.
it.
We're living in history.
What if it was 70s? Dude, what if it was 70s New York, though?
History. See,
Okay.
he's
Okay.
JFK.
JFK. Yes, we can do this.
No,
they,
this-
they can go. They can fly to
don't
Houston.
knock it till you try it.
No, this is like getting people are still like sensitive and worked up about this stuff though.
Oh, I don't care.
I don't care either. But like that's like
People are still worked up about JFK.
well, actually this is relevant. A video
Oh, damn it!
a video
Why?
a video has been circulating online of the protagonist entering
Jack Ruby.
Jack Ruby is the protagonist of what game?
Assassin's Creed JFK.
of the protagonist, somebody playing the protagonist entering a real religious shrine and destroying like things inside of it, just like beating the shit out of tables and stuff inside of the shrine. And the proprietors of the shrine, the keepers of it, like this is incredibly distasteful that you can do this. Like you're dishonoring our heritage. I see where they're coming from. So they're considering like suing or like taking action against Assassin's Creed for this, Ubisoft. And another controversy is the use of the one-leg Torii Gate, which is a remnant of the Nagasaki atomic bombing. It's like a famous landmark.
Yes.
There is a couple of Funko Pop-looking action figures sitting on top of the gate being sold, and they're like, we are very offended at this one.
Yeah.
There's apparently a laundry list of shit that is insensitive to the Japanese culture that this game just trotted over. I saw a video on it. Look it up on YouTube because I don't remember what the fuck.
I mean, I'm not going to get into the fact that
the shrine was something that they brought up.
I'm also not going to get into the fact that so much of history is already offensive as it is. Tragedies aside, I'm kind of like, It's also like, this is kind of where I kind of, it's not even to sound like nuts. I'm like, we can be a little too sensitive about this stuff. This is a thing that existed in the past.
It's also teaching people about the shrine. I'm sure you'll be able to like pull
Exactly.
up. Just because some people are dumbasses.
It's Assassin's Creed isn't going to teach you to destroy cultural relics.
Any better than Grand
Yeah.
Theft Auto taught me how to steal a car? Have I ever stolen a car?
Actually, I do
don't
know how to
think you
steal.
could.
I do know how to steal a car from that game, though. You just stand in front of a car and you just open the door and you throw them out.
You press a button, yeah.
Yeah, it requires upper body strength that I'm afraid I'll get a hernia if I try to achieve.
But it's really fun because you don't know what radio station they were listening to.
That's the fun part. And nowadays, it's usually just auxiliary or Bluetooth. So as you drive away, you lose the signal.
You like see a little gangbanger's car and they're playing the Wave, and it's like, "Don't you want me?" I'm like, "Ooh, what's up, bud? You got good taste." Sorry about your car there, dude. Yes, so Assassin's Creed Shadows. Stay tuned till next month, and we can say how the numbers did not meet expectations.
I don't think any of us are going to play this. And that's like, I'll play it when it comes to Xbox, but that's pretty much it.
I will
like,
100% play this game at some point.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
can't see myself.
I
doing
will
it.
play it in 3 or 4 years after I get done with the
fine.
Valhalla Ragnarok game, whatever.
That's
that
the
one
other
is.
thing. The
too
new
big.
Assassin's Creed games are too big, and if you like me, I need to know everything that's going on before I play the game. And that means I have to play Origins, and then I have to play Odyssey, and then I have to play Valhalla just to understand what's going on in this. Or is this its own separate story?
Well,
now?
they're their own individual stories. There's going to be
The
10
framing is
overarching
always-
things
Yeah.
where there's one character's like, "Oh, the Templars are chasing us. Jump into the Animus." And then at the very end of the game, the Templars will show up and you'll shoot someone, and then that's it. The overarching story of Assassin's Creed
Is
outside of the history could be told in 10 minutes.
Well,
Ancient aliens.
Yeah.
Well, that was easy.
Remember
I did it. Sorry.
Remember back in 2021, NVIDIA accidentally released a list of future games via its GeForce Now service. Many games have been released. Some notable ones haven't been mentioned since then, including Final Fantasy IX and Final Fantasy Tactics remakes.
Okay.
According to insider Nate the Hate, they both remain in active development. Allegedly, a 2026 launch for FF9 is reasonable. No other word on Tactics. I don't need any big remakes on these things.
I would love.
9 won't be.
I think 9 deserves an actual remake.
Yeah.
I don't think it has to play like Final Fantasy VII remake or rebirth,
Keep it classic.
keep it classic, because I think that's actually the charm of it. But update the visuals a little bit. Let the characters express more. I think that you could have a hit on your hands. Maybe make the battles twice as fast.
Yeah. Yeah, those were brutal. If I didn't play that on the Switch with like the faster speed function,
it would have been too much. And I still think that might be my favorite Final Fantasy. It's just update it.
It's very weird of you to say.
Update it in the
You're
best
Mr.
way.
8, dude. You're Mr. 8.
Well, I have a tattoo of it. Yeah.
It's not the tattoo. It's your dying devotion to Laguna Loire.
Well, oh yeah, he's my favorite character.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always pronounce Loire. Is that how it's pronounced?
I don't know. Loire?
Loire. Whatever. Who cares?
Just call him Louis.
Okay. Lulu.
According to EA CEO Andrew Wilson, the reason that Dragon Age Veilguard did not reach financial goals was its lack of live service components.
Wrong. I played the video game. I'm sorry. It's not good.
And for someone to say that, I want this guy to just take one step back. Take a whole step back.
Yep.
He needs to really think about it, and then I want him
agree.
to fuck his own face.
It's just not true. We've had so many games come out that prove that model isn't what people desire.
God, nobody wants it, especially from EA.
No.
Yep.
Dragon Age the Veilguard is a very flawed, very boring video game. I'm sorry, that's what it is.
If this wasn't the age of Baldur's Gate 3, maybe it would have been fine.
It could have been okay, but the problem is that I'm like, okay, you're a character that's supposed to be interesting, but there's nothing interesting about you.
Trying to convince you to not do another playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3, which would take up 100 hours, and to play your game instead, that's going to be a tough sell.
It's a huge sell. And the game is a lot shorter, to be fair, but it's also one of those games where it feels like another EA game. It is filled with Borderlands level humor.
Gross. That humor needs to die.
Anachronisms, and not even anachronisms. You wouldn't even call it anachronisms. You would call it, what's the different, like, it's like...
What, is there a boombox in the game or something?
Well, they'll reference something that would only exist in our world. I had it several times where they'd be like, they'd say some sort of
cool
slang word.
Real cool Vanilla Ice.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's just, it was poorly written. I liked a lot of the characters fine, but the game is boring. Cooldowns took too long for abilities. The exploration is dog shit. And it just, whatever was going on, they should have just rebooted the whole thing, because it's referencing Dragon Age Inquisition the entire way through.
Yeah.
And that happened fucking 11 years ago.
Yeah. It's a thing when you have that much time between games.
Nobody remembers it. I remembered parts of it. But
I remember really enjoying Inquisition.
Oh, I was just like, no, sir.
No, sir.
Dragon Age Origins, for my money, is the only good Dragon Age
I used to
game.
play that with my cousin. I am very fond of the Dragon Age games.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to Veilguard. I think from what I've seen, especially on the PlayStation 5 Pro, it looks like a pretty game, but a lot of the people that I trust on the internet that have played it say exactly what you just said. Lackluster at best.
Yeah. It's just mediocre definition of.
In adaptation news for TVs and movies, Halo's TV series is moving to Netflix as of March 1st. This does not confirm a third season. It's just going to be streaming there instead.
Oh, okay.
That way you have another way to not watch this.
Unless you want to see Master Chief's butt.
I do, though.
I draw.
check it
I
out.
have fucking folders of artwork that I've done.
They're really bad.
Well, it's just
They're just huge. It's just
the
big floppy butts.
He wears the Mjolnir armor like Donald Duck, so his dong is just it's just dong's hanging out.
Sorry,
He's just Donald ducking it across the battlefield.
Sorry. Sorry, Cortana.
He's hung. Run!
It's not sexual abuse, I swear.
I need a condom. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. The Last of Us Season 2 begins April 13th.
Yes.
Lovely.
Rumor has it you can find out the entire story by playing a video game adaptation of the TV
Well,
show.
we don't.
Man, that snowball fight is going to be so good.
Dude, that's the most dramatic part that happens in
Yeah,
part
it's
2.
true. So I'm kind of down to Clown.
It's a good show.
I've liked everything that they did in that first season better than the video game. So I'm really hoping that the writers follow through and make sure I never play Last of Us Part 2.
I never want to.
They're like 2 of my favorite games of all time.
We have another delicious malt beverage sent to us from Phil, from Scarlet Letter in Arkansas as well. This is...
Did I say basil?
It says Scarlet Letter. This is green. I think that's the name of it, is green.
Basil's really good.
This is made with pear, kiwi, bergamot, basil, and lemon.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers to Phil.
Cheers, Phil.
Thanks for sending us delicious beverages. Refreshing.
That one's better than the other one.
The basil rocks in this.
Yeah.
I like the lemon too.
Now, I at this point, if you want a Dylan recommendation of other great seltzers, because I've been leaning more in that direction in my life in general.
Yeah.
It's a little less heavy.
A little healthier.
A little healthier. Less calories, blah, blah, blah. Press. Have you guys heard of Press?
Yeah, my sister-in-law drinks the shit out of Press when...
Press is astonishing. It's amazing. It's the best seltzer on the market right now.
Press is really good. I'm biased. I really like Ope because they use real fruit in theirs.
Well, first of all, Wario Land 4 is out on the Game Boy Advance channel.
Ooh.
Now, I told this to Dylan in the Discord. He's like, fucking stupid. I got it already physical. I don't care. I'm like...
It was true, though.
But sometimes I'm excited to share something with Dylan, and he's like, he slaps me in the face. He's like, I own that.
It's called autism. I'm like, I've already done it, man. I've been there. It's like, yeah, cool, baby.
Oh, cool. I played it 20 years ago, Brad.
It's true. Which is great. I would recommend everyone give this a shot. I'm not sure how good it is in emulation, but I think it's a stellar video game. I think if you like Pizza Tower is basically Wario Land 4.
I will say, I was playing some Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Genesis thing on the Switch library, and that emulation was horrible. It was fucking chugging in the underwater sections.
It's not one-to-one.
Yeah.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Really? I'm going to be talking about this.
I don't know.
It's true.
Just got to find news.
Yeah.
They've got a limited time distribution event. They always do, by the way. But it's wrapping up on the 28th of February. This gives you access to Jumpluff. Do you know what a Jumpluff is, Bradley?
It's a Jigglypuff with a jump.
No, it's just a...
Fuck.
Little,
Dude, I was right there with you.
It's just a little flower guy.
Oh.
That's it. You can get it online.
Great.
The Lego Game Boy piece total has been leaked. The Game Boy will feature 421 pieces, making it a deal smaller than the NES Lego set, which has 2,646. This will be reflected in the leaked price of $60 when it releases October 1st later this year.
That's a good price.
That's good. It's about as much as the Piranha Plant, which I have in my household, which is actually a really fun and great set. So I'll buy this. Game Boy was my first system. I'll put it on a shelf somewhere if I ever can fit it because I have so much bullshit.
Yeah, I look around at my bullshit right now because I move in a week, and
That was the first thing I thought when I walked in here. Because I normally, when we're talking, I admire the bullshit. And then today I was like, oh shit, he's got to move all the bullshit.
and reorganize the bullshit and box and yeah, it's. I love having a Turbo Man doll, but
When you got to move it.
it's turbo time. It's moving time, buddy, and you're gone, dude.
You're getting rid of it?
No, I love him.
I didn't actually know they made Turbo Man figures.
Yeah, I've had that thing since the movie came out,
That's wild.
and not the Larry the Cable Guy one, the Arnold Schwarzenegger one.
The only one.
Thank you.
I don't know. I prefer the second. I'm just kidding. I've never seen
No one does.
it. Gold points are going bye-bye. So at a certain point,
What am I going to do?
you were
with
able
all
to
two
go
of
in.
my gold points.
So at a certain point, you were able to go into the shop, and whatever you bought netted you a certain percentage of like a coin amountage.
Yeah.
And it would usually equal a specific amount. Like say if you bought a game for $60, you could net yourself maybe $1 if it was like a brand new release.
Yep.
And you could put those points into a little savings account so that one day, if you bought enough and you were as loyal as you possibly could be, which I was for a very long time, you could essentially, there was a new indie game that came out one time, and I was just like, oh, I can just pay for it. It's already paid for.
With your gold coins.
Yes, exactly. And they're going away. It's kind of crazy. Your current points will still be redeemable for a year after you earned them. Any qualifying physical games for the next year will still earn you those points as well. I just don't see... I thought this was the coolest thing that Nintendo had been doing. Encourage the use of your system.
Yeah.
There aren't a lot of other services that would do this for you.
Well, for the online service that never does a fucking discount on anything ever.
No.
This was the one thing that they had going.
Sometimes they have some banger deals, some decent sales.
Yeah, whenever Mario and Rabbids has a new game coming out, it'll be $15.
Hey, if you're talking first party, but unfortunately, the Switch was my indie game system for a long time. I would prefer to play all my indies on the Switch because it's hybrid. Now I have the Steam Deck, which I've made to be hybrid. And the Steam Deck just runs everything so much smoother, much better interface, better everything. So getting rid of reasons for me to go back to this is not a good move.
It's probably in anticipation of the Switch 2. They might have a different system or something. They're going to revamp the online setup because I know they were always talking about that like online shared event space. Like maybe something is going to be implemented in there. I don't know. This is sad though. You can use your gold points, past the year, but on March 24th, the ability to earn them will be removed, except for qualifying physical purchases. And then you have 1 year after that to spend them. So just be aware, if you have gold points, go spend them.
If they're creating a new reward system, I kind of think that's cool. If it's more worthwhile to the consumer. But I highly doubt that because people are starting to get more greedy lately. And speaking of greedy, tariff response. Earlier this month, the Donald Trump implemented an additional 10% tariff on all imported goods into the country from China. This poses a potential price hike for consoles and accessories developed within that country. Guess where? All your favorite things are made. Not here.
And the things that you do like from here are made from materials from over elsewhere.
Exactly. If you think for a moment that when Brad and I start talking politics on here, that we are somehow being too political, guess what? This shit's all political.
It's like if
life
we tried
is
to,
politics.
It's like if we were to bring up WWE and expect Tyler not to get mad.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
Look, he already lost his
crying.
voice.
My
He was
voice. I
crying.
was screaming.
There's a tear rolling down his eyes.
He just punched someone.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Shintaro Furukawa suggests there should be little financial damage this fiscal year, but this could cause problems for the Switch 2, and it will, guaranteed, especially if you don't get one right away, because we've seen problems in the EU of price hikes going up on consoles that have existed for 4 years already.
Prices go up after release instead of go down.
Certainly. It just doesn't make any sense to me. There's no reason. It solves nothing. I don't want to pay $350 for a $250 thing.
You know, I really like games that are set in dystopian futures. I just never thought I'd be living in one. It's kind of a bummer.
This is going to push digital games so hard, too, because you're not physically importing stuff.
Yeah. But then you have to buy hard drives. You got to buy...
Yeah,
I don't
know.
Extra storage.
Or you just delete and reinstall.
That's what I usually do.
Tariffs were considered back in 2019 as well. And in a very rare display of solidarity, Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox did a joint letter that was sent to the government, the United States government, saying this would really damage the whole ecosystem for us. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't done. It's possible they might make a plea as well. I mean, all they have to do is kiss the ring. If you kiss the ring, then all he wants is money from you. You give him money.
I kind of don't want them to.
I don't want him to either. Yeah, I'm happy about life, though.
It's Spartacus. How we doing? So coming to PlayStation Plus Super Premium Platinum Performance
Enhancing Drugs
tier.
Edition.
Yes. We have Lost Record, Bloom and Rage, Tape 1. I don't know what that is, but it sounds intriguing.
It's the first tape of it.
Mordau.
Mordau.
I said that correctly. It's all in caps.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but it's also intriguing.
Like a medieval.
Wait, Dylan, you know what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, make your guess on what that game would be, but if you already know.
It's like a medieval battle simulator.
That sounds great. That honestly sounds like it's going to.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I remember it.
I'll look it up.
I'm down with that if that's what that is.
I think so.
I need more of those in my life.
It's a console game. Ooh, a multiplayer medieval slasher game released in 2019. Focuses on skill-based combat and customization.
Yep.
Still sounds cool.
Hey, I won. I figured it out.
You always win.
We got Saga Frontier Remastered, which is just a Lady Gaga video game.
I think that's an RPG.
Yes, it's an RPG.
Where you play as Lady Gaga,
Yeah, on her ship, the Poker Face.
Yeah.
and she has an eye patch.
Yeah, and cool hair.
It's like Skies of Arcadia, but with Lady Gaga.
Even with her eyebrows gone, she's still really hot.
Whoopi Goldberg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have straight up had a crush on Lady Gaga for the majority of my adult life at this point.
Yeah.
She seems
Sister
like your
Act
type.
2, I was way into it.
Well, she guys started popping off when I was in high school.
I was so jealous of Ted Danson.
God, Ted, how dare you?
She was mine.
Somerville. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is one of my favorite games that I've played in recent memory.
Yeah.
Of the last few years. I think it might have been my game of the year it came out, or was that Baldur's Gate?
Those are good games.
They're great
It's really
games.
difficult.
Can't wait for the live action iteration of Cal Kestis.
I can't wait for the next one.
Me too.
The next game in the trilogy.
Yeah. There is going to be a third one. Yeah.
10 Hearts, Top Spin 2K25, which it also kind of pisses me off because I'm gonna play that.
I hate that there's every month there's like a new we got another sports game, something 25.
Yeah, and now I have to try it.
You should just play. So they released Everybody's Golf for free. I
Is
think.
it like Hot Shots Golf?
No, it is, but it's really fucking good. It's one of my top golf games I've ever played.
I'm a big Hot Shots Golf guy. I like that game a whole bunch.
Everybody's Golf, you can basically make yourself as an avatar. It's really in depth, and the courses are astonishing. They're so good.
I will check that out.
Sports.
On the Plus, now seriously, on the Plus Premium,
Oh, okay.
Patapon 3,
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dropship United Peace Force,
Drop shit Murphys.
the Dropship Murphys.
I got on stage with the Dropkick Murphys one time.
That's cool.
It was all right.
Was it in Boston?
Did they bully you?
No, I went up, they invited all of the girls to go up on stage, and they wanted to throw in a few guys to
They got confused.
well, they wanted to throw in a few guys as well to
You're just like, yeah.
so I was one of 5 guys and 30 girls up there, which was cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
But I only like Dropkick Murphys' first 2 albums, and they refused to play any of that because it was the original singer, and now it's a new singer. So I'm like, all right, whatever.
Is this pre or post The Departed?
This is pre-Departed is when they got rid of the original singer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's where my knowledge starts.
Yes, Shipping Up to Boston, a very famous song.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've heard it a lot.
And they also did the theme song for Boston Red Sox before they won the World Series.
I see that's something I don't care about.
Well, they were about to get swept. They were down by 3 games, and everyone was thinking the Dropkick Murphys were the blame. And then when they won all out, everyone was like, we love the Dropkick Murphys again.
They were this close to getting canceled
Yep.
in the eyes of Boston fans.
Yes.
I just
Notoriously even-headed Boston people.
Yeah, they're totally not fanatics.
Fenway Park.
Wow, that was awesome. I like it.
Sorry.
Let's go get a hot dog at Fenway
Applesauce.
Apple Store.
I got the new iMac. Sorry.
Let's get some scallops.
You want to go to the backyard and pound some brews?
This is awesome. I love this.
Oh, sorry.
Sony had a state of play. State of play, we got some games. We're going to talk about Saros. Oh, okay. Saros. House Marquee, the developer of Nex Machina and Returnal, announced Saros, a PlayStation 5 exclusive coming in 2026, starring Raul Coley.
Fucking legendary dude.
Mike
also
Flanagan.
big time gamer.
Yeah, Mike Flanagan, regular. Saros, is he Saros, or is that just the name of the game?
I don't know if the character's name is Saros, but he is the main character in the game.
He's John Sorrows.
Yes.
Game is set in a lost off-world colony on Caracosa during an eclipse.
Carcosa.
Sure.
That's also where True Detective season 1 ends, in Carcosa.
Oh,
It's
like a mythical, like
It's a moon of something.
Is it part of like a mythical zeitgeist?
Is that like an H.P. Lovecraft thing? I think Carcosa is an
Yeah.
H.P. Lovecraft thing.
I think you're right.
That's cool. That's neat. I like that. Did either of you play Returnal?
I loved Returnal.
It was so much fucking fun.
I loved Nex Machina.
You would
never
love
played that one.
Returnal.
Yeah.
A key gameplay distinction between Saros and Returnal is permanent resources and progression, making every death valuable. After every death, you will face a changed world, but in Saros, you will be able to choose and permanently upgrade your loadout from an evolving set of weapons and suit upgrades to come back stronger to overcome the challenges you face on Carcosa.
Rarely does an actor being in a game make me more want to play it. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge Rahul Kohli fan, and he's like a genuine awesome dude, super into gaming, goes out of his way to like encourage the community. Seeing him star in this game has me more interested.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see what they do with the roguelike type of game, because Returnal was fantastic. I enjoyed that a whole bunch, and I didn't think I was going to.
We have another beer. This one comes from Texas, from Ryan. This is from Eureka Heights Brewing. This is the up, down, down, left, right, BA start, which is almost a Konami code.
Pretty much. Beer.
I don't know if they left out select start.
I think it's ABAB start.
I don't know. It's a hazy IPA with Strata, Citra, and Idaho 7. 6.5%. Houston, Texas.
I think I've had this beer.
It's possible. Maybe he sent us 2 of these. I'm not sure. But either way, thank you, Ryan.
I've had too many beers to count that I should have been taking notes this entire time.
Every beer I ever drank is on a shelf above my bed.
That's not a turnoff for women.
Here is my 1,000 empty beer can collection. You should get some plants. No.
Tyler, I'm just trying to help you out.
When they're looking at the shelf, they're like, what's up with the bush lights that were in the middle there? And I'm like, that's the High Life drought of 2018.
You see, as soon as Carly moved in, then I put my Dragon Ball Z Shenron back on the shelf. Once the ladies moved in, then you can put your Turtles action figures back out.
Oh,
and
that's
your,
not
and
that's
your
not
Jar Jar
true.
Binks cup.
I always had my One Piece figures on display, and in the front room, no less, so that it was a litmus test, because I wouldn't talk about it on the date. Then if we came back to my place, it would literally be like, "Oh, you're really into this stuff," and I'd be like, "Yeah," and they'd be like, "Well, at least he's not like one of the weird ones."
Yeah. Speaking passionate about something is attractive.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things where it's
Krillin
like,
is underrated.
Krillin rules.
You know, a lot of people just like, dang, he sounded attractive there.
Yeah,
Well, also, and he got Android 18.
that is true. He did.
He waited till she was 18, though. Am I right?
She was probably way older than that.
I think they even.
Is it weird that she's a robot?
Goku!
I'm dead.
Do you like robots, Goku? I'm just wondering.
Pass.
Met-
Wait, what do you guys think of the beer?
It is
I think it's good.
Very hazy.
It is very hazy. It's
It
a
is.
thick beer.
Yeah.
It's arguably,
This is one of my favorite hazies I've had in a while.
it's actually hazy.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of times where I have a hazy and I suddenly feel like it's kind of like an artificial kind of undertone.
This is a thick boy right here, is what this is.
Properly making a hazy beer requires a fuck ton of hops.
Yeah.
And
You need it cloudy.
yep, this is working.
I enjoy it quite a bit.
Yeah, I do too.
It almost tastes like orange juice.
Yeah, which is a hazy
That's
thing.
what I want.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. A trailer was dropped, a release trailer showing, just confirming the August 28th release date. Also confirmed is the inclusion of Snake versus Monkey mode featuring Ape Escape chimps.
Cool.
That's the only thing that's happened with this game that's made me excited so far.
Well, did you watch the trailer?
Kept stuff.
When you're taking a beloved thing from a creator I respect and you're doing things with it without his like input or thoughts, you have a lot to convince me to play it because Kojima's my boy. And I don't know, it's really weird to me taking somebody else's work and iterating on it without their input.
If they miss the tone, which is a huge thing about Kojima games in general, if you miss the tone and you start editing around it in a way that makes it completely different, people are going to revolt. Because if they get rid of the weirdness and they try to make this a little too self-serious,
Too cool and modern feeling.
Yeah, that's not what these games are about.
Seeing the Ape Escape chimp in something other than Astrobot was like cool though. That excited me a little bit. Unrelated, Kojima made a post about Captain America: Brave New World.
What'd he say?
And he's like, didn't say he liked it or not. He's like, I watched the movie. I'm confused. When did he get the shield? Should I have watched the Captain and Falcon and Winter Soldier? I'm confused.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's funny, Kojima.
I mean, did he watch Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness too?
Did you watch WandaVision and Moon Knight and Agatha all along?
Oh boy.
Ain't nobody got time for all this.
Yeah.
I technically
for all
do
that.
sometimes, but no.
Metal Gear, I thought the trailer looked cool, but I agree with you. It is weird that Kojima is not involved in this, especially since Metal Gear was Snake Eater was my first Kojima game.
It's a very good video game. In terms of what the game is in general, I think it's in my top probably 15 of all time.
I remember my mind was just blown because I had never experienced a Kojima game, and then all of a sudden it just happened to me, and I was like, hell yeah, brother.
Would you say it was a thrill?
Oh, 1000%.
Very weirdly, my first Kojima game was Metal Gear Solid VR Missions, the PS1 game, which was
That fucking rules.
it's good, but
It's really good,
there's
yeah.
no story at all.
No, it's just challenge.
And then
levels.
I played the shit out of Substance on the Xbox, which I still own. Fantastic game.
That one's really good.
Substance is legit.
But it also had the
rug-
first two Metal Gears in it.
The rug pull of Raiden, chef's kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck everyone.
Oh, wait, that was 3. That was Subsistence is 3, right?
Yeah, which I actually have not played 3.
Oh, God. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Shinobi, Art of Vengeance, coming August 29th. Shinobi is a side-scrolling action platformer. This is the first Shinobi game since 2011's Shinobi 3D.
It looks fine. They're really bringing old franchises back a lot in this state of play, and I'm happy it's 2D. The art style looks fine. This is one of those that if it gets really good reviews, I'll check it out, or if it's on some sort of a free thing, I'll check it out. Otherwise, Shinobi doesn't hold a place in my heart.
No.
I've seen
mine
some
either.
speed runs that look cool, but
I'm going to pass on this one because I'm probably going to take up the next one, which is Octopus Platformer Darwin's Paradox.
this trailer is awesome.
This
It
looks
looks cool.
dope as fuck.
It looks really cool.
A platformer starring a silly little octopus that you play as. And anybody who knows me, I'm kind of a big octopus guy.
Yeah.
I have
You
a
love
big
the
ass tattoo
tentacles.
of an octopus on my arm.
The art design in this looks spectacular. The screen is super wide for the gameplay, so you can see a lot of the environment, and
Mimicking like an octopus's eyesight.
it gives you kind of like an inside like limbo exploration feel to it. And you're a silly little octopus.
Which rules?
Yeah.
I'm down to clown.
You're scooped out of your little home and taken to a strange food factory where you're going to get chopped up and made into calamari. Is that octopus? Did I get that right?
Calamari squid.
Fuck.
But you're not too
I was
wrong.
so close.
You're close.
What is octopus?
On the scale of
Octopus is
Americans,
just called
on the
octopus.
scale of Americans,
Why
that's
don't-
pretty smart.
I know, I try.
Yeah.
I am a learned man.
Yeah.
Just not so much in the reading department. You shoot ink and use your camouflage to escape.
I like it. You know,
I thought the trailer looked really cool. I like the art style.
I actually don't eat cephalopods anymore.
They're too smart.
See, there's a word that you said there. That's what octopus are.
So are squids, though.
Well, this also just makes me think about the deep eating Tilda Swinton in The Boys.
Yeah.
So think of it this way:
He doesn't
calamari.
eat Tilda Swinton, does he? Either way, he fucks her.
Homelander
That was his buddy.
Different one, right? Yeah. Lies of P DLC Overture is announced a year and a half after its release. Lies of P is getting a DLC and it's releasing this summer.
A lot of letters.
Yes. On the brink of a puppet frenzy massacre, you follow legendary Stalker, a mysterious guide, through untold stories and chilling secrets as Geppetto's deadly puppet you'll journey through Krat and its surroundings, uncover hidden backstories, and face epic battles that shape the past and futures of Lies of P.
I think people like this game.
I've never heard anyone that's played the game say it's bad.
I don't think it's bad.
Thoroughly enjoyed my time with it.
Okay. Did you beat it?
No, I got tied up with Elden Ring.
You played one level.
I got pretty far.
I finished the demo, and I liked the demo a lot. The thing is, I don't have enough time in my life.
I really enjoyed it, and then the only thing I found was a bummer is I wore the German Shepherd head the whole time, and I didn't get to try out any of the other cool outfits because nothing was as cool as being a dog boy.
That's true.
I'm a big Pinocchio guy, weirdly enough. That was one of my favorite stories as a kid.
It's one of those primordial kind of archetypal stories.
Very Joseph Campbell.
I thought for sure you would jump on this, Brad, because I heard a lot of people say that it was really akin to Bloodborne.
It is.
I hate it when somebody makes something derivative, though. Say it's a fucking awesome. I mean, you're gonna say Souls-like if you don't say it's like Bloodborne.
It's steampunk Souls-like. That's literally what this is.
But it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
And the combat I played was good.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just I hate something being derivative. It rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's one of those games where I started playing it and I was immediately like, I get it. I'm fine. Goodbye.
Yeah. The world had me most intrigued. I could play this someday, but
I'll probably play it. Especially, it'll give me a reason to go back and finish the game because it's a shame that I didn't beat that one. I was really enjoying it. Oh boy, Onimusha. I don't know how to say that title.
Onimusha.
I remember when we took Tyler to MGC for the first time and he found video game consoles were older than Nintendo. He's like, what? Look at all of these games.
It wasn't just
he did know.
It wasn't just that. There was just
Give him
some
some
very
credit.
bizarre consoles there that I had never heard of.
The Magnavox Odyssey, for example. What a weird fucking console that you can play there.
I'm just saying it's you don't know Onimusha.
I actually played 2 on the PlayStation 2.
Oh, you just never knew how to say it.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I could barely.
You think they taught him that in
Yeah.
Alabama public school?
I called literally my favorite video game ever Suikoden for a long time.
Yeah.
Before I knew it was Suikoden.
If no one said it out loud, how are you going to fucking know?
Yeah.
Kate Sith. But then it actually is Kate Sith.
And remember when we corrected ourselves to Cat She?
Catchy, yep.
That sucks. That they made us do that and then reversed.
Yeah.
Technically, from my own point of view, my only reality.
Alucard. Look at it in the mirror, buddy.
Whoa.
Oh, jeez.
We blew your mind with that one time.
That legitimately blew my mind.
Hey, guess what boob is backwards?
Boob.
Wow.
Can't fool me twice.
I can do that on a calculator.
Fool me 3 times, shame
Yeah,
on
I
me.
know.
Wow.
What's your favorite number? 8008?
But I add a 5.
Because you want 2 of them.
Yeah. I'd rather have 2.
80,005?
And then I motorboat the calculator.
Dylan, why are these buttons all sticky?
That's really good.
Thanks.
I mean, Onimusha, War of the Sword. Combat footage was shown off in a new trailer featuring thoughtful movement, parries, and finishers. Play as Miyamoto.
Musashi.
Musashi.
Musashi Miyamoto, the most famous swordsman.
Who lived in 1600s Japan.
Yes, true.
It's interesting that it's based on a real guy. Because
Yeah.
the trailer makes him look like a little comedic.
Yeah.
And I don't know this real
No,
character.
he is
so-
actually kind of a comedic figure throughout history. Very, he's basically a guy who he would get really drunk. He would go around, he would challenge people and basically just kill them using his own sword style and then kind of learning their sword styles. He's been adapted so many times, though, that everything is kind of a blur.
I'd like to watch a documentary on this guy. He sounds very fascinating.
The manga Vagabond is an adaptation of the story. Manga.
Manga?
Manga.
Manga's a fruit.
WWE 2K25.
I included this one for you, Tyler.
I am very excited about this game
Why?
because I
There's a new
honest to God-
online store for wrestling games.
All right, I got stuff to say about this.
Okay.
I really thoroughly enjoyed the last one's like GM mode, where
Sure,
you
okay.
like take control of a brand, you do a draft, you draft your superstars, and then you can craft storylines. And they lean into the kayfabe of the wrestling business that it is a show. And
So Vince McMahon sexually assaults you?
no, that's the DLC.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
get that far.
Only if you're employed by him.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you kind of are.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I liked the GM mode. Trying to beat the other competitions, you could play. I played against my brother, where he ran like WCW and I ran ECW, and then you could also play against the computer too at the same time. And it's all about making the best matchups and increasing the rivalry to get the biggest payoff, just like it is in real life. And way back in the day, SmackDown versus Raw, when they actually split the brands and did the draft, it was in the game, and it was the same game mode, and then they took it away. And then it came back, so I was super pumped. It was one of my favorite game modes of I think 2007.
That is not at all what the island is.
No, the island is exactly what NBA 2K is.
Oh.
So
no.
they basically took like the city from NBA 2K, where you can like run around and interact with other players. You can play pickup games. You can go get tattoos and go shopping and spend your VC, which is virtual credit that you definitely pay real money for.
There's a Nike store. There's a Puma
Yeah.
store. All in an online environment you can spend your wrestling bucks at. Or you can buy
Fucking
real
hate
bucks
this.
and go to Nike.
Real bucks. Yeah.
I hate it. It's not what I wanted from this game. I want...
It's an online environment to interact with people and spend money.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny is that all these professional wrestlers are criminally underpaid, unlike
Because of Hulk
basketball
Hogan.
players.
They
yeah.
were very close to unionizing, but
and then
Hulk Hogan
ruined it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew
Jesse
that.
Ventura was definitely leading that push. And then Hulk Hogan tattled like a little bitch.
fucking hate Hogan.
Hogan is actually kind of a...
We love Ventura
kind of
on
a
here, though.
dickhead.
Big Ventura fan. Especially in Predator.
Predator.
I just love his weird podcasts.
He has a podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Don't listen to it.
He was
Listen
also
to
a governor. He was
Dogcast.
also the governor of Minnesota.
Yep.
And then...
He rocked.
I think the majority of the cast of Predator went into politics and became governors, didn't they?
I don't think we got Danny Glover as not Danny Glover. I'm
That's
sorry.
Predator 2.
That's Carl Winslow.
Yeah.
That's Donald Glover. Carl Winslow is in Die Hard.
No, Danny Glover's in Die. Wait. No, I'm thinking Lethal Weapon.
I haven't seen Predator in a long time.
Regardless, WWE 2K25 is adding a bullshit. I mean, it's cool for interactive players that want to play against each other. That's cool. The island is kind of a cool take on the city, but at the same time, it just means they're focusing more into an online, fucking money grubbing, VC collecting, get in your wallet approach to the game.
And a
rather
game
than-
that is literally only functional for like a year, so they're not creating an environment that's going to continue. Why
It's
would you
just gonna
spend
be
money in that?
It's just going to be a reskin of the previous game with updated wardrobes and stats.
So here's the thing I don't mind spending money on in a video game. If this video game is going to be live service for a very long time, I might drop money into that. Like
If
Gran
it's got
Turismo
legs.
7.
Yeah.
Right. If it's got legs, if it's got something where I find value in whatever I could be purchasing, I think that's fine. But when you have something where it literally says 25 after it, you are kind of setting yourself up for failure almost automatically because none of that shit's going to transfer over.
No.
All this is a flashier way to interact with a menu. Instead of just going to the Nike store, click
Correct.
a button, and then you can see what's available. You walk over to it, and then there's somebody else walking in the same arena that already bought the Nike shoes or bought the fucking Puma shirt.
Do you think that adds to the immersion? Do you think some people actually want that level of immersion though?
Well, when I played NBA 2K for the first time with the city,
Right.
I got drafted to like the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I would just stay up late, smoke a bunch of pot, listen to Coheed and Cambria, and then travel around the city. Occasionally, I'd play my actual game against the computer where I'm playing my character. But then I spent a lot of time playing people like on the courts and straight up interacting with people. The first time I found it, it did add to immersion, and I really did enjoy it. And then, just like you said, it was like 2K, 16, 17, 18.
Is it
I don't
basically
remember.
just like a visual novel kind of like.
It's just an open world city that you run around and interact with people in. But
There's going to be
the moment that it has the 2K whatever year, you're going to lose all progress of that character, have to start all over because the main way that you get to level up your character
they better have
is VC.
If they were smart, there'd be a through line.
Oh, they will never do that though, because they need if they want one of these games to be someone's first version of this video game.
Yeah.
That's like the whole entry point.
You pay $70 for the game, and then people are immediately going to buy the VC bundle to max out their character to get a 99 overall so that they can fuck with everybody, and they don't want to grind to get there, which the grind takes a long time, but that's the whole reason for the game. You start as a newcomer, and then you work up.
The way I saw this phrased on some of the articles I was reading is this is the first of what will be being introduced into many sports games.
Oh yeah.
This is every sports game is going to get their own island, city, the club, the whatever. We're heading downtown and all of a sudden you can like spend your money, find online matches, interact with people. And
oh my God, is that Lady Gaga? Gotta go talk to her.
Ooh, the new Lady Gaga skin is available. Let me go buy it for $5.
She's got no eyebrows this time.
So hot.
Yeah, it's cool the first time you experience it, but it's just a way to get into your wallet. I'm not a big online gamer, so I can appreciate for what it is. You're basically making a glorified menu, but it's just disappointing because I know in a game that is essentially just a reskin, the majority of the work went into the online component and less into what could be a story driven.
This is going to be the same game as last year.
Yeah,
with a more online ability to spend online.
And like you just said,
there's going to be pixels.
There's going to be WWE 2K26, and you're going to lose your progress, and you'll have to start all over. And you essentially buy the game 4 times a year.
Didn't you just say you were excited for this?
I was until I saw.
Okay.
You're still excited for it.
I don't think it's going to be what I wanted it to be. I was hoping that they would lean into like the character creation and GM mode.
You can dress them in whatever popular clothing brands you like now.
Oh man, that is what I wanted.
You can get a Post Malone shirt
and wear some Converse
and then he'll
All-Stars.
get 10% of the proceeds.
I'd support Posty that way. I'm a big Post Malone fan.
Okay,
sure.
But before I have an aneurysm, we'll move on to Dave the Diver Ichiban's Holiday.
Very cool.
I've been
That
playing
is cool.
Dave the Diver lately because I think you got it for me for my birthday. Someone gave it to me. Did you give it to me?
No, I gave
Brad
it to you from my sister because she gets a whole bunch of free shit that Walmart's going to throw away.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a fun game.
I gave Pokemon to basically what essentially are my niece and nephew.
Because you got the DVD set, right?
Yeah, I gave them to my great friend's children that they just adopted, and I said,
They're
"You
learning
guys."
learning some good stuff.
Well, I said I don't want this in my house. I said, "Do you want American Sniper or
Or Pikachu.
or yeah?"
Dave the Diver Ichiban Holiday is a DLC coming in April, which will feature a side-scrolling beat-em-up mode as the group fights ruffians trying to get into the sushi business. I don't know what any of that means because I missed this trailer, but that...
Ichiban shows up and there's a new side-scrolling beat-em-up mode in Dave the Diver.
That's cool.
I really like Dave the Diver. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
It's a great video game.
I made the mistake of putting my Nintendo Switch directly next to my Portal, which is directly next to my bed. And now when it's time for me to go to sleep, it really just means I'm done playing PlayStation or Xbox for the night, and I'm going to go lay in bed for 2 hours and play my Switch, or just grab my Portal and play my PlayStation.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah, more on Yakuza later.
Astrobot free content coming to Team Asobi announced more levels coming to Astrobot, all for free because they are cool like that. The first level went live February 13th, with 4 more coming once a week until March 13th.
That's great.
Just new levels. Just
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just whatever.
It's because they know they found a nice little mascot for Sony, and they're like, "Fuck yeah, let's
Astrobot
make
should
people
be
love this
just
shit
the
more."
default mascot.
I would play it if the person I loaned the game to ever returned it.
I forgot to bring it.
Interesting.
I didn't beat Astrobot. I enjoy it. It's not my type of game.
Oh, what?
It's an athletic game.
It's
It's a beautiful athletic game.
It's very pretty, and I've had a lot of fun with it. But I'm not a big platformer guy. And they never hold my attention all that much.
Oof. I mean, God of War Ragnarok certainly didn't fucking hold my attention. It's gone.
Well, one of those two games is really good.
Well, I know
They're both great.
God of War Ragnarok made me want to poke my eyes out several times.
And that
Kratos, why don't you go over there? I was walking there.
Hey, Dad! Hey, Dad!
I was
steps away.
I was walking there, Mimir. Kratos,
Hey, Dad, I'm going to...
why don't you use the door, Kratos? I'm
Dad.
literally walking there.
Hey, Dad, exposition. Exposition. Exposition.
Ooh, Thor's my brother. Great.
I don't want to fight Kratos. For fuck's sake.
Clean your room, son.
We did good. Yay.
All right. There's all your spoilers for the God of War series. And then the last little bit of news. This affected me dearly. I was pissed off.
Oh, this was amazing.
I was pissed off. PlayStation Network went down. It went down for a while.
Friday into Sunday, right?
It forced us to be in the real world. The network went down for almost 20 hours, beginning February 7th at 5 p.m. and ending at 2:30 p.m. the next day, Wisconsin time, which is Central Time for those people who don't know where Wisconsin is.
That's a good chunk of time. 20 hours is a good chunk of time.
Luckily, I mostly play offline,
Me too.
Well,
and none of my licenses were affected.
that affects some
So,
people.
Yeah, I was pissed off because I had a tough time at work, and I was really wanting to just go home and play some video games and chill out. Luckily, for these instances, I have an Xbox.
Kingdom Come Deliverance doesn't need no online.
Yeah. This is the biggest outage since 2011, where there was a cyber attack around Christmas that took everything. Was that around the one around Christmas? Took everything offline for like 23 days.
23 days in 2011. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I remember that.
Yep. And then they're like, here's a game.
They were all games I already had.
Yep. For some users, you couldn't even play offline games, which required online verification for ownership due to not being set as your primary console. This used to affect me all the time back when I had two units. There's another thing I saw that apparently if you had the PlayStation Pro with the attachable disc reader, the disc reader needs to be verified online to even work.
Oh, fuck no.
I saw a screenshot of that on the PlayStation subreddit. I don't know if that was fake or not. I was at
They need
work.
to patch that shit out.
They need to figure out a better way to do this. Sony has said it was an operational issue. Needless to say, for a company as big as Sony, it's just flat out unacceptable.
Unacceptable, whatever. I mean, it's, the reality is that I get it. Like a lot of people were pissed. I was on Reddit. I was watching the whole thing, like eating my popcorn like the Michael Jackson meme. But I mean, it is literally go out and touch grass. I don't know what to tell you. I did other stuff. I just went and did other things.
I played Xbox. I played Switch.
I did other stuff. You can just do other stuff. I cleaned my kitchen.
For the majority of
I
that,
got books. Like I opened a book.
the majority of that 20 hours, I was at work anyway.
Yeah, you're
So
fine.
I was.
But when you're paying for a service and it's not available, it is upsetting.
Well, the great news is that we got 5 days extra.
Is that what they gave us?
Yeah, even though mine auto renews every year.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So if I ever decide to stop, I'll get 5 extra days anyway. Okay.
It's stupid.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about a real game console. Here, Chad Xbox here.
Here he is.
There's nothing this month. Thank you. We got a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean I'm fucking scraping. Added in February, we got Far Cry New Dawn. This is to Game Pass. Madden NFL 25. Kingdom 2 Crowns. Avowed. We'll talk about that in a little bit here.
Sure we will.
EA Sports F1 24. Just get fucked. Get fucked with all these sports games. All these
No,
24.
shut up. I like F1 games.
Well,
I didn't play this.
I'm just tired of letters and numbers.
F1 just means Formula One.
I know. Dylan.
It's still an ugly title, though.
Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader. Watch Dogs Legion. Coming soon. In March, we're going to get Atom Fall. In April, South of Midnight. They've been touting that one as one of their big exclusives.
Oh boy.
Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I don't like that title.
No, I don't like it.
And in May, we're getting Doom the Dark Ages.
Doom is going to roll. It comes out my birthday.
Whoa.
I sometimes get really prime birthday games. Tears of the Kingdom was one of them. Now it's going to be Doom the Dark Ages, I guess. I am excited for it, if only for the fact that I think that melee combat is a lot of fun in first person.
I don't know anyone that loved Doom Eternal, and I'm hoping
It's a little clunk.
this is a return to form.
It's a little clunky.
I think maybe
I saw him get into a mech. and
Maybe
that's
Doom-
a huge plus. For
maybe
me.
Doom 2016 was the outlier, and because Doom 3 has its people that love it. It's very slow. It's a very different game, but there hasn't been a ton of Doom games since then, and 2016 was the bee's knees.
2016 is one of my top games.
I put a top 25 games of all time.
Yes,
I'm
agreed.
I'm
I'm right there with you. I can't.
walking a tightrope trying to say a number, but
Well, honestly, we should aggregate our favorite games into one list.
that's what we're doing as we vote.
Oh, that's true. Okay, whatever.
And here's all of the news. Phil Spencer, the big man at Xbox, has stated that in future presentations, the PlayStation and Nintendo logos will be featured.
Okay.
Xbox is about to go full multi-console. He also stated he's not trying to move gamers over to Xbox anymore.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
To say it out loud as a business presentation,
It's fine.
It's fine, but it's also like
What are everyone knows.
you don't want to admit defeat, though. It's like what you say is we're very excited to share some of the amazing games at Xbox with some of the other gamers in the world.
I think they already know that they have so many studios that are still so popular in the bag that I think they know what their strategy is. They're doing a Sega. That's it.
But Sega quit making consoles.
Xbox will too.
I don't know if they will. They might go. I don't know.
They're just going to quit making them. I know they are.
Well, when everything is an Xbox, it's hard to keep up.
I know. I was eating an Xbox out of an Xbox this morning with my Xbox.
I woke up on my Xbox.
And then I realized, wait a second, I'm an Xbox.
One time I accidentally went into the bathroom and shit on my Xbox.
You got Xbox all over your Xbox.
I got Xbox expelled from my own body, and then it got put onto the Xbox.
Xbox everywhere, dude.
There was Xbox water. I was so confused.
Yeah, dude.
And I yelled and I said, Jordan, I shit on the Xbox.
It's like, go out and touch Xbox, am I right?
Oh, man. I could use that.
That's it for Xbox. that's literally all I got.
That's okay.
What? We'll start with what have we been playing. Tyler and I need to briefly mention Elden Ring Night Rain.
Yeah,
For it.
We also check out the Elden Dogs for a full in-depth look. If you're not a big Elden Ring person, we did play the network test.
I have thoughts about it. I had fun.
I thought it was fun, rough around the edges, needs some fine tuning and some work. Very worried about this massively. It's not an MMO, but like it's a online built game with FromSoft not having done something like this before. And there's a lot of dropped matches, which it's a network test. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm worried about it. I also this is not your daddy's Dark Souls, and the thing is, your daddy's Dark Souls was better. So we'll see what happens.
Truly, I don't understand it. It's okay. I love that it's happening. I think people are going to have a ton of fun.
This is not a game for you. We talked about this briefly in Dogs After Dark. But
I'm very Brad and I have the thing where we are very single player focused. However, I am a person who will dive into online games with other human beings, maybe a little bit more. And I just don't think this appeals to me. And I'm not going to put the energy into it when I got other shit going on. Monster Hunter Wilds comes out next week. Excuse me, I'm just going to be doing that.
Pardonnez-moi, excuse me, yeah.
It looks really good. I've only seen positive things like in the buzz.
Yeah.
So if they can keep refining the Monster Hunter games that I thought were bad for so long into like this pinpoint, I'm in.
Yeah. It's just the Elden Ring Night Rain. It's like the people that are obsessed with Elden Ring and Bloodborne and Dark Souls, that's a specific type of gamer. And this game is not their type of game. And you want to draw them over as well as people from the other like Helldivers or like the squad-based multiplayer PvE.
I think you can.
You can, but it's just like a weird climate for like this kind of game to come out with. There's so much competition, so many failing online service games.
Right.
I'm excited to fully play it and get into it, and I'm most excited to actually play with friends online because that will define the game more than running around with randos that are confused.
Elden Ring kills the Justice League.
Hey, Puddin', remember America? Sorry, that's all I got for Harley Quinn. You're not getting more out of me this time.
That's fine, no.
What else have we been playing?
I guess I'll start. I played Avatar, what is it called? Avatar Frontiers of Pandora.
You played more of that, huh?
I went back to it because I watched Avatar 2 again over the course of like 3 days.
Were you fucking high?
I was very, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Avatar 2 is a good movie.
Avatar 2 rules.
I love everything about Avatar, pretty much all of it.
Sure.
Avatar 1 is not great.
I love Avatar.
Avatar 1 is middling, but still entertaining.
In IMAX 3D, it is a 10 out of 10 experience.
I've never seen it.
I love both movies to the moon and back.
But Avatar 2 was like
Really good.
exciting. Avatar 1 is extremely obvious.
Yeah.
It's paint by numbers.
Yeah. Unobtainium.
The game is a lot of fun.
I love Unobtainium.
Yeah.
This is my second time trying to play the game. I don't know why I fell off of it on the first time. Life happened.
Probably because
I
it's
got
a
busy.
Ubisoft game.
Probably got a little burnt out.
Because you played this game 1,000 times before.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
kind of
time
what
I
it is.
mainlined the story as much as possible, and I did exploration mode because I was familiar with like how the game worked.
Mm-hmm.
Exploration mode was a lot of fun because you actually find some useful shit for crafting. I could kind of like craft my own narrative on how I was getting around. Flying on the Ikran is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Running around up through the trees and on the giant vines felt real, and it's basically just Far Cry.
Mm-hmm.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it.
The weapons are interesting in this game, though. That's the one thing I will say. I think that
You can get
in
some
general,
super OP weapons with the way that you
they function different than most weapons, which is something I always like in a video game. Like, give me something that's not like a shotgun or an assault rifle, and I might be a little more into it because forcing me to kind of adapt to new things is part of what keeps my interest going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The story I found kind of hard to follow for the first half of it, just because the names are so out there. Everything kind of washes together, and there's a lot of characters at first. But I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Are the characters from the movie in the game?
They mentioned
There's a few.
They mentioned Jake Sully.
They just mention, but you don't actually see them?
No.
Okay. Because I love the poor approximations of celebrity voices that they need to do for these games sometimes.
There's one scientist who recurs. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. That's Avatar. Civilization 7. I bought it.
You bought it.
I bought it. Yeah, I knew I was going to do it day one.
But why did you look up anything about it?
I did look it up
beforehand?
because I was going to buy it on my laptop because my laptop can actually like run a little bit of games,
Okay.
and I wanted to know if it was a Civ that was optimized for the PC again, or if they're leaning into the consoles. And this one definitely, from what I read online and my experience with it on the PlayStation 5, is a console version of Civ. It's very dumbed down in some aspects compared to its predecessors. I am not a big fan of the changing of the ages, nor am I not a big fan of choosing a leader and then choosing the civilization. So you can be like Napoleon, but also like not France at some point.
Sure.
Didn't like that. Really don't like that. Very slim selection on the civilizations that you can be and the actual leaders that you can be. Harriet Tubman is an absolute fucking menace. Every time she's in my game, she fucks my whole shit up.
The new
Same with
Gandhi.
Ben Franklin.
Respect.
Ben Franklin always wants to declare war on me, and then he has no fucking troops, and then I just wipe his ass, and then
You wipe his butt.
whip his ass is what I meant to say.
I mean, that's very kind of you.
You wipe his Xbox?
I wipe his Xbox. I like what they did.
And his Xbox hole.
They removed
Make sure you get in there.
Yeah.
They removed builders. I like what they did with that. That when your
I
population,
like builders, though.
I like this better.
Okay.
They leaned into the tiled districts more.
Oh, I like that. That's
So
cool.
when your population turns over, you just choose how to expand your city, and you can make some really cool looking cities with the way that they
Right.
work with the geography and what you choose to place in each tile. Militaries have commanders that have special promotions and shit, and you can pack your armies into a commander and then move them across the map rather than having to manually move. 87 tanks.
That's better. But
It streamlines it a little bit.
I've heard people actually kind of hating that.
I really enjoy it because you can just load and unload your army at will. Super fun. It did crash on me 6 times.
That's bad.
Yeah, so I haven't played it and since a couple days after release because I'm just waiting for it. I don't want to brick my
Wait
fucking
for
console.
it to get fixed. It can brick a console.
No, but I'm always scared when a game just abruptly crashes, and it's hard crashing.
So when hard
crashed
crashes happen, there is a chance. It's extremely slight, but it can happen. It's happened before,
and I'm not taking that chance.
No.
The reality is that I think I'm going to wait a year for this one. I'm not going to touch it until they fix it.
Well, it's like with any Civ game. Everybody hates it at first, or the majority hate it. They complain. There are some good things, and then it's not really a finished game until you get like 3
It's been
DLCs.
almost 10, but it's been almost 10 years since they made the last one.
And I didn't really care for Civ 6 until like Rising Storms and shit.
Yeah.
Overall, I really enjoy Civ 7. I like what they did with it. It does feel a little dumbed down, but I'm optimistic for the future. I'm just excited to have another Civ game. I do really like the art style of it.
Yeah.
Very pretty to look at. And then, of course, I've been playing
Avowed.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I dropped everything I was doing to get it. Like, I pre-installed it
Yeah.
because it's the new Obsidian game. It is essentially just Skyrim.
For those that
Again,
don't know, what else has Obsidian made?
Fallout New Vegas, Outer Worlds.
Both of the Pillar of Eternity games, which this is a sequel to.
And I didn't know that, but this seems like a fucking weird little niche thing that I could get into because everybody says the story's boring. I'm thoroughly enjoying this.
Oof.
It's essentially just Skyrim again.
I feel a disagreement on the story here.
What
Is it, a chosen one narrative?
kind of. You're an envoy sent to.
You're magically blessed from birth by gods.
I got mushrooms growing on my face.
So do I.
Okay.
You got to have mushrooms growing on your face.
Yeah, I did tasteful with mine.
I went gross.
That's awesome.
I made me, but grosser.
I don't have time for character creator anymore.
Oh,
Like,
it's really kind of annoying at this point.
don't give it to me anymore. Just
I get it.
Give me like 3 presets and I'll choose one. I just straight up, I choose my preset. I put a mushroom face on him. I gave him long hair and a beard, and I was like, go into the world.
The reality of this game is that it is fun sometimes, but also extremely shallow in its execution. The first person, I don't think they've nailed first person at all.
It doesn't really. I think combat is fun.
Once you get a wand and stuff, and you can shoot shit, that's great.
Did you know how long I had a fucking wand before I realized I could just hit RT and then it just basic attacks and I don't have to use the actual spells from the book?
That's insane.
Because I saw it and I was like, I have to use these 3 spells, so I just constantly would switch back to my mace.
Well, yeah, with any RPG, you got cantrips.
I did not realize that, and then I accidentally shot somebody with a basic spell, and I was like, I'm just a machine gun magician now.
That's all it is. Most people are.
Magic is way overpowered.
Yes.
Way overpowered so far.
Yep. I was trying to be like kind of a blade magician. Didn't really work out.
I wanted to be a scout because it made sense narratively for me to be a scout as an envoy sent to this world to like figure out what's going on with the plague.
Sure.
So I was like, I'll be a scout. I'll get the bow and arrow, double daggers, and I'll just be like a solo dude who moves alone. And then I found out that I had a party following me, and I'm like, well, there goes my element of surprise.
Yeah.
And then I discovered magic, and I was like, this shit's super powerful, like way too powerful.
I don't like the loot system. I don't like the storytelling in particular. There's a lot of what I and people on like Video Game Apocalypse would call lore bukkake.
It is lore bukkake.
It's like when you Xbox with a bunch of dudes.
It's they call that Ookie Xbox.
There is a shit ton of
You
lore
put your
dump.
Xboxes in a 360.
Yeah.
Yep.
And whoever finishes last has to eat the Xbox.
And then everyone screams, Xbox!
Yeah.
I think
I think Avowed. I think Avowed is. I don't think it's egregious. There's some really interesting stuff going on there. It's just not for me, and that's okay. I think that a lot of people are going to find a lot of joy from this, and I think that over time they're going to patch fixes because there's some stuff going on that I'm not a huge fan of.
I thoroughly have enjoyed my time with it so far. some of the quest structure and the maps are annoying to navigate, especially when you get
That's a huge pet peeve.
When you get deep into Paradise the first time and you're like, how the fuck do I get to this cartographer? And then you fight a bunch of overpowered skeletons that I didn't know were overpowered and keep whooping my ass, but I played Elden Ring like last week, so that's not going to stop me. I'm going to come back.
Sure.
But then you defeat all the skeletons, you're looking around for the fucking cartographer, and he's nowhere to be found. Mm-hmm. And then you're swimming underwater, and you're like, where is this map marker? Don't know where I'm going, and then I give up on that, and then I went and found the watcher.
I had the same problem.
Yeah, that pissed me off. And they also, my skulls on the objectives, you know, how it's like 1, 2, 3 skulls, depending on the difficulty, my skulls are gone. I have no skulls anymore. Oh. I can't tell how hard a fucking mission's going to be until I happen upon it, which I'm fine with that as an exploration thing, but it would be nice to know I'm going to go fight a level 3 dwarf so I don't walk all the way fucking there for no reason.
Yeah.
Because when you're underleveled for something in this game, you're underleveled.
Oh, extremely. It's supposed Obsidian's usually pretty good at their like top-down perspective ones. I've played a few of them. Pillars of Eternity mostly, I think are fantastic. They're like Baldur's Gate kind of dumbed down is how I would describe them. I actually think they're really good. You can do a lot more weird shit in Pillars of Eternity than you can in Baldur's Gate because they're not doing D&D. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
There are not like rule sets for that. I don't know. I'm gonna revisit it. I just don't see myself doing it with the slate of games coming out, including a game I bought on Friday.
What game is that?
Yakuza. No, Like a Dragon.
The Hawaii?
Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Yes.
I want to...
I did not put this on the Discord on purpose.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts. I'm guessing you like it.
I like it.
Okay.
I want to play real quick, where would I start if I wanted to play the Yakuza games? Because there's just too many and I'm overwhelmed.
If you want to play them, you'd start at Yakuza 0. If you want to...
I would play...
I'd watch a YouTube recap, and then I would just play the newest couple ones.
I would do Yakuza 0, Yakuza 6, The Song of Life. Then I would go to Like a Dragon. Then
Watch
like
some karaoke highlight videos on YouTube.
Yes. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. And then I would go to this. Because then that's 5, rather than the astonishing amount that there actually are.
You can skip... 1, 2. 1 is good.
2's fine.
But also, each one is very long, very involved. And just do yourself a favor and watch some YouTube.
So I would... So this one stars my favorite
Mishima?
Yakuza character. Goro Majima.
Goro Majima, sorry.
Yeah. And he has amnesia. He wakes up on a beach. This takes place after the events of Infinite Wealth, which I have completed.
Oh, it takes place after Infinite Wealth.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a gaiden, which is like a side story.
Yep.
And he wakes up on a beach, and apparently pirates are still a thing around the coast of Hawaii at this point. It's very like magical realism, which
he might just be having like a...
But he's not.
An episode.
He's literally not.
Yeah, you're not at the end of the game yet.
He might.
Yeah.
But
also, Yakuza games, the logic does not need to exist.
But it's been entertaining so far because... a lot of the systems that exist within Yakuza are so entertaining to me. Like, there are little piddly things you can do here and there, and you can really get distracted if you let yourself get into them. I would argue that their combat system in this is not fabulous. It's more of a Muso, larger enemy groups type of situation. And there are points in which you find yourself facing enemies with like pistols. They don't give you enough time to react, and you're getting hit with pistols from like the corner of the battle map or whatever you're in. The exploration is fun, a little constrictive.
Is the pirate stuff good?
The pirate stuff is really interesting because you create a mutiny and you become the captain of the ship as Goro. And then you have a chef. He's a big fat man with a chef's knife, and he's one of your guys. And then you've got a alcoholic bar owner from one of the islands and his son, and they all join you, and a pet tiger who's also named Goro.
The characters are very vividly drawn in the Yakuza games.
Maybe a little too much so. To an annoying degree, I'm like, I get what you are. You don't have to keep telling me what you are.
They're very broad.
Well, that's Japanese RPG storytelling for the most part. Because this
It's
also has
kabuki theater.
There you go. I guess. I like this game a lot. I'm still probably I'm maybe about 20% through the game. I played it quite a bit. I think this one's going to be shorter than a lot of other Yakuza games based on what I've played.
So fine.
That's A-okay. The styles are great. You've got the Mad Dog stance. You've got the Sea Dog stance. And some of them involve cutlasses. The other ones are like...
You have the Captain Jack Sparrow stance.
I mean, essentially, Goro Majima in this is Jack Sparrow. Nice. For all intents and purposes, they were just like, he's kind of like Jack Sparrow. Why don't we just give him the suit? Mm-hmm. And I'm really enjoying my time with it. The story is relatively intriguing based on a continuation of Infinite Wealth. The end of Infinite Wealth is great. Very excited for the next Ichiban game. This is a nice distraction, but it certainly is not quite what I wanted from a Yakuza game. Either I want the really like brawler game, like the down and dirty, kind of very close to the action, or I want the RPG style again. Because I think those work really fucking well. This one, some of the button combos, the mapping is very strange. It takes a long time for you to actually truly understand what you're doing and to get a full kind of awareness of what's going on around you in every battle because there's just too many people. And it doesn't work the same way as in Musou games where you can just mow them all down. You've actually got to pay attention to what each and every single one of them is doing. And so I would say wait for a discount because I do not think this was worth $60. I would have paid $40. Yeah. I think this is a $40 game.
Carly and I finished playing The Quarry.
Did you like it?
The Quarry is a shining example of everything that's great about supermassive games and everything that's fucking stupid about them. The ending was incredibly anticlimactic. Finishing the game and being shown...
It's about werewolves,
a list of who lives and who dies. Yeah. And then you don't get to see the epilogue. You get to hear like a 20-minute podcast.
Are you kidding?
That describes what happened.
Yeah.
It's two podcasters that's in universe because one of the characters is like, oh...
Did they show visuals?
No. It's just the credits rolling and then it's like, yeah, did you hear about what happened out of this camp? It's like, it's a podcast.
I didn't even listen to it.
Yeah. I didn't either.
Podcasts, what are they?
I couldn't be fucking bothered. And we had spent a lot of time doing that. The story is fine. It's fun. I don't want these to be games. When we play these, we turn all of the gameplay off as much as possible.
Right.
We want to make decisions and watch a horror movie.
Making decisions is fine. It's like those Netflix, like choose your own adventure type things.
And that's all I want. Anytime that I have to move my character around, it feels like shit. Mm-hmm. Anytime that there's a QTE, which we turned off, those are stupid. Mm-hmm. All of the gameplay is bottom of the barrel garbage. I want to make cool choices in a cool story.
And have them be meaningful.
And have repercussions.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was extremely underwhelming the way that the story wrapped up like that. And it was still enjoyable because we like making the decisions and seeing what happens with the monsters. Like run or hide. That's always fun. That's what you do when you watch a horror movie. It's like, get out of there. Or like, because when you're actually in the decision, but the thing is there aren't repercussions often for them because you're given a QTE to get out of the whatever situation you get in.
When you turned QTEs off, what happened to Abby?
Which one's Abby?
The one with the glasses.
Oh, The Last of Us Part 2.
Nope. This is the girl from Modern Family.
Yes, her.
She survived.
That's a bummer.
Because I saved her from Werewolf Boy.
With the shotgun, right?
And then she made it to the camera room.
Me and Devin played our first playthrough, and we were super stoned, and we got to the shotgun part, and we're not ready for a QTE.
I hate it.
And she gets her head fucking ripped off.
Good.
And I remember laughing so fucking hard because we were not prepared for it, and it was hilarious. And we just kept rolling with it because we're like, fuck it, we'll replay it after we beat it.
Yeah.
I was interested to see if they auto success. Do they always succeed if you turn them off?
Yes.
That's better.
And even if I turn them off, what I would like is the option to fail.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you want to fail a QTE, story-wise. Like, just because I don't want to partake in your QTEs doesn't mean that I don't think it'd be fun to, like, fall from reach for something and not make it.
Yeah.
I want to control the story. I don't want to play the game.
Or when you have to, like, cut somebody's hand off. And it's like, should you really do it? They could die, but maybe they'll get infected. And then it's a narrative choice for you to...
I turned off, the gameplay moments. And some of those moments is shoot this person or this thing. And it chooses for you. And I'm like, that's not what I wanted. So, underwhelming. The story was still really cool. And so now the only Supermassive game we haven't played is The Devil in Me, which is the H.H. Holmes murder hotel story, whatever.
Yeah, I want to play that one real bad.
I mean, I will play it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what we've been playing. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. Today's topic for the Dogcast is Final Dungeons.
Final Dungeons.
Great ones, bad ones. What do you expect? Do you like them?
Can I just say right away that I find most Final Dungeons really not great?
They're often quite uninspired.
They're uninspired and they're meant to build tension, but they're usually too long, and I'm there way too often, and sometimes they wear out really quick.
Yeah, more often than not, I find myself rather annoyed by them. I'm like, it's often going to be one of the longer segments, the longer stages. Mm-hmm. It's going to have the toughest enemies, which I want, but sure. I don't want a needless amount of them, and I don't want a needless amount of the same hallway. Tension should be ramping up, but when you overdo it, it actually becomes detracting, and it's losing some of that push.
Yeah. There are so many RPGs I've actually quit right towards the end, and I just looked up the ending because I'm like, I know I could beat the boss, but I'm not going to finish this. I know the challenge isn't going to be too much for me, but I'm just gonna look. I'm just gonna take a look because I'm done. I don't need anything else. An example of a good one is Metaphor Refantasio. It's awesome.
What makes it so good?
It is more exploratory. There is more room for forgiveness. There is a way that you can kind of boost your characters without having to sacrifice a lot. If you feel underleveled, there's a way to make it happen. Like it's forgiving, but not in a way that doesn't make you feel challenged. Because if you wanted to gun it straight through, you can. But allowing me to kind of have access to a few more resources. I think Final Dungeons are a great way, especially in like the early era of like JRPGs. They're a way to make you feel trapped. Like, I fucked up. I used all the shit I shouldn't have. Yeah. And I have to start completely over because you only had it on one save slot.
You should, the rainy day mega elixirs you've been holding your entire game, mm-hmm. That's when you should be using them.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But I think people are still reserved with that anyway.
I like Mario World, for example.
Sure.
When you do the shortcut for the first time, you can see Bowser's Castle long before you get there. Mm-hmm. I like that, the build-up you get seeing something like that.
Right.
And Bowser's Castle in Mario World specifically, it's like so multi-levered. There's different level. There's different doors to take that are going to take you to different sections of the castle.
Right.
It's super, I think it's brilliant. I think it's, as far as 2D Marios go, my favorite final level section because it feels like you're going into such a long ordeal.
Mm-hmm. And it's actually successful in the way that it pays off. I mean, considering Mario games all end kind of the same way, you defeat Bowser and you fuck off to the distance.
Yeah.
I do like that final boss battle with Bowser. But this is not about final bosses.
Well, no, but it's like...
Which those end up being the most memorable parts. I mean, if we had to be honest.
Yeah, I think almost unilaterally final stages, levels are disappointing.
Can you tell me what the final level of Ragnarok is so I don't have to do it?
God of War Ragnarok? I don't even know.
It's when you lead the charge against Odin. Yada, yada, yada. then you fight out and
Oh, so Kratos was the chosen one and not his son?
To me, those aren't even really stages. They're just really shiny hallways.
yeah. And then I think Thor is actually the one who does it. I can't remember. It's been a long time.
For a game you love, it clearly left a big impression.
I remember enjoying it, but I only played it once.
Yeah.
And
I went to the Light Elves place and then I said, ugh, I could just fall asleep.
What are your thoughts on Ultimecia's castle?
I don't really love, as I've gotten older, I don't quite love the fact that you have to face old enemies over again or like newer like bosses in order to unlock your abilities again. Because you're basically unlocking your memories through the Guardian Force.
You don't like the gimmick.
I don't quite like it.
Okay.
And I didn't like it at the time, but I would still do it. You would find the way to beat the boss to use items again, or you would find the way to unlock your draw system again so that if you were feeling a little weak, you could continue on through like healing spells or whatever. It's a few of those bosses, I'm like, I can only use attack. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
But it plays to the central theme of the story, so I was a little bit more forgiving because it's all about time and memory as a whole. And the concept that you forgot a bunch of this stuff is kind of central to the plot of what you were doing to begin with. So if there was like there's a defend option, you don't have to face that boss. Who gives a shit about that boss? You're not defending in a Final Fantasy game. That's usually not what you're up to. So I liked it, but now I don't know if that's something I'd be excited to do on a replay.
Well, speaking of Final Fantasy, I love Final Fantasy X's final boss. So not boss, like the final, the run up to the final boss. When you're inside Sin and you're on like the remnants of Xanarkand and they are throwing they're not like random encounters, but they are like fucking bosses. Every enemy you run into is like, this is an iron giant that will one-shot your party. And just running into like nonstop just juggernauts along the way. And it looks great. Like it's just a stunning thing. It's not, a repeating boring location.
I would argue that's a bit of a hallway situation.
It's kind of a hallway, but it's stunning and the music works and I understood where I was as a character versus something like Final Fantasy 12. I know the lighthouse wouldn't be considered the final thing, but that to me is the final dungeon because when you're actually in that final spaceship or fucking Leviathan, whatever it is, but the lighthouse, it is meant to be a challenge dungeon. It's meant to be 3 levels, take you fucking 6 hours. It's repetitive. It's monotonous.
But you have to prove your skills.
You have to prove your skills, but 12 really didn't work compared to, something like 10, which that one just seems really exemplary.
Honestly, Final Fantasy 13 didn't get interesting till the final dungeon.
The first 60 hours sucks, but once you get there.
There is a point in mid-game, about 20 hours in, where you actually do have some level of freedom and you can go like monster hunting, and it's actually pretty great, and you can actually boost your levels to a point where the last portion means nothing, but you essentially kill, I don't know, Spirit Pope, something like that. But what's really interesting about that final boss is the boss cast death on you right away. So you have to do it within a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Which rocks, but the level is cool. It takes place in this ultra future sky area. I'm like, all right, well, this at least is more entertaining than us walking along a highway for, the last 2 hours.
I do love it when a video game says to you, heads up, this is the last save.
Yes,
that
very
is
important.
Such a cool thing because then it's like I go carte blanche on, all right, I'm going to use my shit and fully go for it. Use all of my like sphere grid, master spheres and all of those spheres. Just like, all right, go to town because it doesn't matter. This is the last chance to use them. I do like that moment.
And usually if you have those, you're already prepared.
Do you have any thoughts on like final sections of Souls games?
Yeah. I actually think this is where they kind of fall apart.
Okay.
for the most part. Dark Souls is kind of an incomplete video game, despite the fact that I love it. The last third portion of that game is a little incomplete. And there's a point where you have to go to the first flame, and Gwyn, the sun god who has gone mad from being rebirthed too many times, he's gone hollow, and he's kind of psychotic. So your choice is either to enter an age of darkness or rekindle the flame with your own body. So you fight Gwyn, and it's either you walk off with these giant serpent heads or...
But these are the choices at the end of the game, not like the final run-up to it.
You'd be surprised at the fact that there really isn't a final dungeon.
Because I think of Bloodborne, and I would consider, Nightmare of Mensis as the final dungeon.
Do you think so?
Well, it's like the last thing you go exploring up into before you get to the conclusions.
I feel like there was so much more to that game. There were so many more other areas.
And I would say, Elden Ring, I consider the final dungeon. You're going to Farum Azula, which I don't like at all.
I hate Farum Azula. That's actually where I stopped the game.
You're near the end.
I know.
I don't like the design of swirly storms and broken architecture and dragons. To me, it's
and platforming.
It's too busy.
In a game that doesn't need platforming.
It's not an athletic game.
It's certainly not.
It's certainly not.
Yeah, I don't know. It's too busy and it lacks an elegance that so much of the game is just overflowing with. Is just like a nice simplicity. It's just fucking skyboxes and architecture. And then you have Farum Azula. It's just like someone vomited all over. And I'm a big Elden Ring guy. But yeah. And then also the DLC for Shadow of the Erd Tree. And Near Limb's kind of the same thing. Fucking floating broken architecture. It's like...
Why'd you do it again?
One trick pony.
It's one of those things, especially in Souls games, I would find Bloodborne to maybe have the best.
Yeah.
Because it's about returning to previous locations.
Yeah.
The final dungeon could be your preparation for the battle with the moon presence. Mm-hmm. If you really want to break it down. A lot of those games are kind of like, all right, if you think you're good enough, just do it. There's no real... Especially with a game with not a lot of plot, a lot of these final dungeons come from plot contrivance.
Yeah.
No matter what. I'm trying to think of one.
While you think, we have another beer. Another beer sent to us from the wonderful Ryan. This is from Huntsville, Texas. It's from Lucky 19 Brewing. This is the Daylight Coffee Stout. It says it's quite the eye-opener.
Is it though? Let's test.
It smells like coffee. Oh, yeah.
It has a good carbonation to it.
That is a coffee stout.
Very coffee forward.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
In our little third space glasses, which is gone now, right?
No, third space is
They're
fine.
still around.
They are? Oh.
They have 2 locations.
I'm getting confused. There are too many of them closing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things closing lately. Including the studio here. This is our final dungeon.
Including my Xbox.
Look at that picture of Tyler as the Hamburglar.
Well, that's going to be in the new one.
Thanks, Mom.
We're actually putting that over our fireplace.
That's a great centerpiece.
We don't have a fireplace, but yeah, it's either that or bedroom. We'll see.
Right next to the, on your side of the bed?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to look at it like that Wolverine meme?
I'm going to hold it up and just touch it. Yes. One of my favorite final dungeons, Mass Effect 2.
Oh, yeah.
The suicide mission.
The suicide mission, yes.
Yes.
Everyone lived in mine.
But it's tough.
It is tough to get them all to live.
To get them all to live. And when a mission has been built up the entire game, like this is what we're working towards, we need to get a crew. The game's whole point is building up to it, and it actually delivers on it.
Yeah. It's insane that the whole entire game is for one mission.
Yep.
And they're able to destroy the collectors. As good as you did, which does end up being like, well, you still fucked up. They're still coming. The Reapers are still here.
Yeah. I mean, we need a sequel. We can't finish it.
No. I mean, that would be interesting if you could have an ending in the second one that was like, you did it. You kept the Reapers.
Oh, and then they're like, we don't know what happened after Mass Effect 3. We can't make a conclusion, so we actually just sent something away for Andromeda.
Oh, we're going to have a Mass Effect 4, apparently.
Yep.
Which, after playing Dragon Age: The Failguard, I'm a little.
Well, that game would have been good if it was live service.
Yeah.
You're right.
True.
You're right.
Preach.
The final
certainly
dungeon is
true.
getting my parents' wallet so I can afford to play these games. Tyler, do you have any games that you like?
Yeah, I had 2 dungeons. Well, I guess they're not dungeons in this traditional sense, but it's like final levels.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
We're being generous with
Yeah,
dungeons.
Spider-Man 2, the final fight with Venom with the floating fields. You know what I'm talking about?
I just played it and I don't remember.
I remember really enjoying that last fight
Venom's the
with
black
Venom.
one, right?
Yes.
Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy.
Okay. All right.
I liked the way that worked because you had to swing. He would have big AoE attacks, and you had to like swing from different It's like a floating football field.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
You get to swing around, and it was very fun. I liked that one quite a bit. But when it most memorable would be The Last of Us Part 2.
I was actually going to make a joke about Last of Us Part 1. I'm like, you just really loved that hospital segment.
I was going to say Part 1 because that hospital segment is dope because you can either just run and gun the entire time or you can actually sneak through it. But when it comes to The Last of Us Part 2 and you have the conversation, I'm going to spoil the shit out of this game for anybody who hasn't, who cares?
I'm sure they've heard it by now.
When Tommy lets Ellie know that they found where Abby is and the game transports you to California and it's like new environment and you think the game's just about done and then all of a sudden you have a new environment to explore with a new faction and it's not a very long portion of the game. It's just this nice little tidy epilogue and you're playing as Ellie then and you're trying to find Abby and you have the confrontation on the beach and you have no idea who's going to survive, what's going to happen, the thrill of that, the climax of that game. That is probably my most memorable final level.
I watched a video of that.
It is, dude. I mean, it's one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite series for video games. The Last of Us games are very dear to me. So that fucking was like a brick to the chest.
I do like those games, and I don't think they're bad by any means. I always
give it
tease
a
them.
hard time.
We
but
give it a hard
we
time.
do like
but
them.
they're not.
They're great narrative stories.
They,
The snowball fight is in my top 30 snowball fights in modern gaming.
If that was at the end of the game, it'd be my favorite last mission.
Yeah.
I do not like walk and talks anymore. I do not like a long extended sequences where you're kind of wandering down a hallway and someone is talking to you.
Shit.
Oh, I hate it. Stop doing that to me. It's not okay to me. And they have it in Yakuza, to be fair. But it's also like, at least at the end of it, I can play slot car racing.
I think that the problem with a lot of the final sections of games is you want it to be a situation where you prove you've mastered the skills you've learned in the game.
Yeah.
And with so many RPGs, what it is they just spam enemies at you.
Yeah.
And to me, that's not proving anything. It's not like ramping up the difficulty. It's just killing time. It's just more time. It's just more bullshit. And one game series I think that does the final sections really well are the Halo games, where it's ramping up. And if you're into the story is paced pretty well for the most part. But there's always like an extremely challenging section of enemies.
Yeah.
Where it might even be you have to hold down one location and they just send waves.
Like Reach.
And waves like Reach, like Halo 3. And there's always like a really challenging section of you have access to a lot of weapons, a lot of enemies are fucking everywhere. And then they also give you a gameplay segment where it is mostly ramping up to a climax, not about your shooting. It's a chase sequence.
You're driving.
It's a warthog sequence.
I remember that from 3 vividly because I remember playing it in my friend's camper with him the day it came out.
Yeah. Halo 3's final warthog sequence is pretty bad.
It's really gnarly.
It looks incredibly stupid. There's zero logic on any of it. They do coordinate the music to fade out the moment you jump, and that gives you the pit of your stomach falling out. But Halo 1 is great. You have 10 minutes to get to this pickup point, and that really works. I think that the Halo games really elegantly ramp up your skills needs to be shown off that you've picked up throughout the game, and also the way you define your gameplay style. Some people are shotguns, some people are rocket launchers, some people are all BRs, and you're given a chance to show off what you've learned,
right,
in a fucking cool way.
It is cool,
and I think the best final dungeon of all is, in my opinion, Hyrule Castle and Breath of the Wild.
Oof. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I would actually probably do Tears of the Kingdom.
I don't know, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's okay. I think what they did with Hyrule Castle is elevated by I would say 50%.
Oh, really?
From Breath of the Wild. It's not going into the castle and being like, oh, all right, well, cool. It's going down into the pit of the earth. And there are so many, all the stuff you learned in the underside, like the underground, comes into play.
Yeah.
And you've got to have all the potions you need in order to survive to the blight so that the blight doesn't kill you. The final confrontation is something on its own, which could be described as a dungeon in and of itself. But I don't know. I just think it's a little bit better. I like the fact that it's just he's like this primordial thing that lives in the ground.
Yeah.
But he's alive, and he's going to try to kill you.
I just love Hyrule Castle so much in Breath of the Wild as a landmark you see immediately. You're looking at it.
It's there.
It's always looming, and you can go there right away. But it's and there's multiple ways in, and you can skip all of it. You can go through all of it. There's a lot of secrets to be gleaned through it. One thing though that the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I think, lose out a lot of is puzzle solving, which the previous Legend of Zelda games, the final dungeon is a beast of its own, with all these different series of puzzles and combats you have to get through, which I think those are spectacular as well.
I think a lot of the mistakes that people make is that these sections oftentimes end up becoming hallways. Kind of pretty hallways that you run through.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh my God, we're at the finish line. And I can understand that from a developer standpoint. We built up all the drama we possibly can. Why would we continue the pacing in this weird way? Why don't we just go for it?
Yeah.
Because then you get stuff like Metroidvanias where it's usually about going from place to place, getting 3 jewels or whatever to unlock a main door that you've already been to.
Dracula's
to then
5
go
parts.
into it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that method too. You decide what the final dungeon is. You decide when you're finished. You decide when you've had enough.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I get to final dungeons, I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I get tired.
I find it interesting when a studio does a good final level and then a bad final level. And Rockstar Games comes to mind for me because if you play Red Dead Redemption 2 and you get through the epilogue with John Marston and you have the nice standoff on top of the cliff, it is very rewarding because you get this nice cinematic lead up as you're running up the side of a mountain and you're shooting at all the different enemies. And then the big baddie that you've been wanting to kill for the entire game you have a showdown. Brilliant final level. Made me really care about the characters. I felt like a lot was at stake. Unfortunately, with John Marston, he's fine because there's another whole ass game. But nobody else from this ending is featured at all, so you don't know what's at stake. And then you flip the coin, and a terrible, terrible final level is Grand Theft Auto 5. Is that Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, the ending of that game is complete and utter garbage dog shit. You either have to kill Michael, kill Trevor, or they're like, you know what? Let's just go through and kill everybody that was a problem in one fell swoop. And at first glance, it's really fun because it's just mayhem across the city. But it just feels so hollow and empty when all the bad guy or all your playable characters just jump and high five at the end, like, yay, we did it.
Yeah.
Look at us.
It would have been much cooler if you couldn't save everybody.
Yeah, and I think that's a game that really needed it because when you have 3 protagonists, you have a very interesting chance to make the player choose between the characters that they've been playing the whole time.
I unfortunately had to kill Trevor.
It's the one that makes the most logical sense.
He's
a
not a
wild
good
card.
person.
No.
He should be put down.
Yes, he's a monster.
There's too much
I
of an
didn't
ink-
find him funny at all throughout that entire game. I was like, am I supposed to be laughing at this?
He's funny in 2008.
Yeah.
That wasn't 2008. But
No.
That was 2013.
I know. That's what I mean.
Oh, when they started
He's
developing
a character from the 360 generation.
Right. Nico Bellic is
He's an
character, though.
He's an evolutionary hangover that like gamers were trying to get rid of.
Well,
they were
and then
exercising their demons through him.
There's the scene where they're torturing a guy, and I'm like, good God, Zero Dark 30 just came out. This ain't good.
This ain't cool no more.
He's Osama.
Well, that's why I think the new Grand Theft Auto is going to be trying to lean into like tropes of Tarantino or like things that people still think are cool, but
Thelma and Louise crap, and it's
going to be Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, it's going to be Bonnie and Clyde.
I'm totally fine with that.
That's cool.
Just make it fucking fun.
Crime is not as fun.
crime doesn't pay.
Crime is not as fun as it used to be.
Only you can stop wildfires. Is that what we're doing?
Some of our Patreon supporters, when I put out the call on Discord this morning, because I've been working too much and I'm buying a house and I'm tired.
It's fine. Who cares?
And I'm tired.
Luigi said the slide puzzle dungeon from Skyward Sword.
Oh,
I don't know.
Ew,
I asked for what's the best and worst, so I don't know if he meant best or worst when
That's
he said
fine.
But maybe he just
No.
wants us to talk about it. I don't know that one.
It's a lot of actually controlling the Wiimote, which is always bad.
That sounds bad.
Yeah.
Phil, just Red Bear Phil, says, my best worst that comes to mind is the last stretch of Super Metroid. Best because after a crazy battle, you're given a crazy OP weapon. Worst because after that, it's an escape sequence and then the game ends. Kind of wish there was a new game plus where you could do a victory lap after being overpowered.
That would be cool.
But it was 1994, so new game plus wasn't super common. Yeah, Super Metroid, I
love that game.
fucking perfect. Perfect length, perfect everything. The only thing that's stupid is that one, you don't know you have to bomb one little location. That's the dumbest thing.
Yep.
I'll knock off a full point for that. Kip says the Tower of Babel and Xenogears, awful. I remember it just being full of platforming, which was not good.
No, it wasn't good, Kip.
And Jonathan Eshu says the worst is Pools of Darkness SSI Gold Box series. The final dungeon was called Dave's Challenge, and it's nigh impossible.
Whoa, I don't even know what that is.
No,
How old are you, buddy?
Jonathan, we want to know more from you because you're mentioning a lot of games.
You're stumping people.
You're mentioning new things to us, and it's from an Advanced Dungeons and Dragons computer product, Pools of Darkness, a Forgotten Realms fantasy role playing game, Volume 4 for the PC. You're an interesting fellow, Jonathan. He says the best is gonna go with World of Warcraft's End of Expansion Raid and Wrath of the Lich King, which I'm not a WoW guy.
I've heard it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never interact with human beings. I'm a bit of a lone wolf, as they call me.
Yeah.
A bit of an Xbox.
Yeah, dude. You got a huge Xbox.
I've got a few good big Xboxes.
Yeah, dude. Dude, you got some Xbox on your shirt.
Fuck. I've got Xbox on my Xbox.
And I believe, does anyone else? I feel pretty good about Final Dungeons. I wish they were better. Some are good.
I think honestly, I take them or leave them because there's a point where there's the climax, and it usually happens before the final dungeon. The big thing that happens that brings everything to like the tip usually happens, and then everything kind of dips down.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, we have to go now kill the bad guy, and whatever you feel about it, that's fine. Like if you really want revenge for a character or say something, that's, I don't know. Take it or leave it.
It's kind of why I like my narrative pretty much just basically movie games because they are structured more like films where the final moments of the game are typically the climax.
Yeah.
The structure is easy to follow, and you're hardly ever let down, especially with the ones that I truly enjoyed. There are some bad ones out there, but I think largely the last dungeons or last levels is kind of a bummer sometimes because half the thrill in these open world games nowadays is like the adventure, getting there and leveling up and grinding. And then once that becomes boring because you're super OP and you have all your resources, you're like, well,
That's a
Might
great
as
way
well
of putting
just
it.
like fucking finish the game now because there's all this side shit that I could do, but does it really matter?
They often just kill tension. They kill all of the buildup of the story, and having to dick around for an extra couple hours while I'm trying to reach whatever I'm reaching is kind of shoots it in the foot, I think.
Yeah, it's not great.
And that's why I believe it needs to be a test of your skills.
Yes.
Yes. And
Celeste does a good job.
God damn Celeste. Man, now I got to go play Celeste again, Dylan. Why'd you say that out loud?
I don't know. Maybe you should be packing.
Yeah. Fucking the last world when you're like, I don't even remember what it, like, you're in the ether, you're in a dream state. That's tough. That's a fucking gameplay challenge, though, and you're right. And thank you for listening, everybody. If you enjoyed this show, you should check out all of the other shows on the Dogcast Network, including Raw Dogs, where next time we're going to be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog's 2D adventures, possibly a two-parter, but we're going to be discussing 1 through 3, Knuckles, 4, Mania, and then you take over and say the other ones that are 2D.
Superstar, Parts of Generation. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Colors. There's
Knuckles Chaotix.
Oh, I'll never play that.
No one should. And check out Elden Dogs for if you're on our Patreon, we're in the middle of our bestiary and armaments section. And otherwise, we are moving along through the Land of Shadow. And then, of course, check out Popcorn Dogs, where I don't know what we're talking about next. Maybe Eyes Wide Shut. Maybe The Substance or something.
I would like to do The Substance or Eyes Wide Shut. My mom recommended Eyes Wide Shut, which was like, whoa, Mom.
Your mom is into weird sex parties.
You know, I wasn't going to say it. She can come in the Discord and defend herself if she wants.
Please.
I will mute all notifications for that conversation.
And I will be talking in depth with your mother.
Please.
I love you, Mom.
Yes, if you want access to all of the episodes well in advance, a lot of bonus content, check out patreon.com/Hair of the Dogcast. Special thanks to Patreon executive producers Brian Ward, Ryan Christianick, Kip Kipper, Phil Wright, Jordan Hoff, Kelly Katowski, Bryant Ross, Phil Just Red Bear Phil, Justin Melly, Christian Nielsen, Just Sonic, and Horny Jim.
Horny Jim.
The amuse-bouche.
The amuse-bouche, as they say. And we, if you are an executive producer, we're going to be right back with a quick side quest episode submitted by Kip, where we're going to discuss emulation.
Ooh, emulation, really? Okay.
But thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next time.